Here's a few news stories worth looking at. This is an analysis of online malware called Contagious Interview. I'm not sure, I think that's the name of the malware product, but this is from Lazarus Group, the North Korean hacker group, and it's interesting to see how they operate here. They explain how they found it, and the thing that I thought was particularly interesting here is that they've left their master control system just publicly available, their web console, and they say they're seeing this more and more. There's another one also publicly available, and they say it both reflects the fact that they're moving really fast and taking over a lot of targets and getting sloppy, and also that they just don't care. They have so many malware families, so many command and control servers, I guess, that they really don't care if some of these get caught and taken down. So anyway, that's unusual that they publicly expose it, but it's becoming more common. A Metacurity online pointed out, as Trump talks about punishing Anthropic by banning them from all American companies that do business with the government, which is basically everyone, she points out that the two companies that we've done that to so far, Kaspersky and Huawei, are both doing fine. And Kaspersky just got a new record for global revenue. Of course, they're not American companies. I think it would be a far worse blow for an American company, and it appears to have been stopped in court, although it hasn't gone all the way to the Supreme Court. I don't know if the Trump administration is going to keep pushing it, but to punish Anthropic in this manner. But it does show that these punishments are not fatal for companies at all. So this, I think, is extremely important. I think this is going to be as important as the book I often cite called The Phoenix Project, which explained what DevOps is, which is a new way to organize companies so it works better with people who design cloud, who use cloud servers and things like that to automate processes. And these guys have done is they've explained how to make your company AI native. And they talk about how when they started, they had 5% of people that wanted to do this and 95% of people that resisted this and thought AI would just be terrible and mess everything off. And now they say it's a big success, but they say the same thing I've heard elsewhere in much more detail, that what you have to do, they talk about the levels of this. AI assisted is where you start. You give people access to something like ChatGPT or Claude, and then they're supposed to continue working the same way they always did, using this supposedly helpful assistant. And usually what happens is people just find it irritating, it doesn't really help, and it doesn't accomplish anything. Then you have to redesign workflows. I'm putting AI in the loop, and finally you become AI native, where you redesign your entire organization, just assuming AI is there as part of your staff. This is very much like what you did with DevOps, when instead of having a small tech team making all the servers and desktop machines and web pages and everything, and everybody else waiting for the tech team to do it, you just got everybody to participate in this. They would automate their own workflow by understanding how to use these things correctly. And this is very much similar. You see, now everybody expects a member of every team to be an AI, and they all accept the AI to help them where it's helpful, then you actually get benefit out of it. So I think this is the future, and this is why I'm telling all my students, you have to start deploying AI agents. You have to get used to how they work. Now you have to start using them and understanding them, because we're all going to be expected to use them, and we're all going to be expected to use them as a strong native, the way we're natives on web browsers and word processors. We're all going to be expected to be good at using these things to survive. And as I've heard many people say, it's not that everyone's going to get laid off and replaced by AI. It's that the workers that don't use AI will be replaced by workers that do use AI. And I think that'll be true. Although in the short run, they're just laying off everybody. But I think within a year or so, they'll start hiring them all back again. But we'll all be expected to work with AI. So Anthropic has made two big mistakes recently. Their content management system exposed a bunch of drafts that were not supposed to be public, exposing their next model, the more powerful Claude code, and now they've leaked the source code to Claude code. So they do seem to have a security problem in maintaining their confidential information, and this is particularly interesting because it shows what Claude Code is. Claude Code is their AI coding agent, but it's more than AI. It's got a front end that appears to be written in some standard language like JavaScript or Python or something. I think it's JavaScript, which then calls AI appropriately. And they talk about one of the huge problems is agentic memory. The simple way AIs remember something is every time you ask a new question, they have the entire thread, all the previous questions and answers they've given you, so it grows really fast, and this is why everyone updated their AIs to take 100,000 tokens, like 100,000 words or something, which sounded ridiculous, and this is why they very much suffer, because pretty soon they hit the limit and they start compacting the history and forgetting things. And what these guys have done is make a more complicated form of memory called a three-layer memory architecture, which they call a self-healing memory system. And so it has a lightweight index of pointers that point to locations in files. So it doesn't really use all the memory all the time. It has a sort of directory to memory information stored in files. It's stored across a series of topic files, and they're fetched on demand, but it doesn't ever read the whole thing back. It just uses grep to pull the relevant contents for what it needs to know. So this is like retrieval augmented generation, automated, and they have a strict write discipline where it only updates its index after a successful write, so it doesn't pollute its context with failed attempts to do things. Anyway, it's an interesting idea. That's one of the major things that leaked their proprietary way of handling memory in a superior way, which makes their product more powerful. And they also talk about how it can run in the background and other things. So it does expose interesting things about AI design, probably not to Anthropic's benefit, but to the benefit of us at large who wish to understand how these things work. So here's Oracle cutting 30,000 employees. Early this morning, they say to pay for AI data centers. So we'll see what comes of this. In the short run, that's the problem. My students are having great trouble getting jobs because everybody's just getting laid off. And here's something that we all expected. So the Trump administration that was supposed to redact the Epstein files and release them did the opposite. They only released half of them, and they did the opposite of real redaction. They redacted the criminals to protect them and didn't redact the victims, releasing their full information, which is exactly the opposite of what the court order said. So after they left it that way for a while, they said, oh, we're sorry, and put up revised files where it's redacted. But of course, once it's out on the internet, it's out. And in particular, once it's out on the internet, AIs will train on it, and the AIs will remember the previous unredacted files. And so they're suing Google, saying if all you have to do is go to Google AI mode, and the AI will reveal this information that should have been redacted, which is certainly the true. And this is why all large corporations have forbidden their employees from using the public models like ChatGPT and Gemini for company work, because anything you send there as a question is used for training and could just be repeated verbatim to another user. So this is a known defect of AIs, and I say one of the areas of research in AIs is how they can forget something they're not supposed to know. Right now, that's pretty much an unsolved problem. And so Microsoft Copilot is being used to write code, of course, and write patches, and now it's putting ads in the code it writes, which is just very much like what Microsoft does. Microsoft put ads on a Windows 11 desktop, ads in the start menu, it pops up boxes telling you to get another Microsoft product and so on. So now when they used AI to fix a simple typo in a pull request, it then added, quickly spin up Copilot agent tasks from anywhere on your Mac with Raycast. So it's adding advertising into software you write with it, which is annoying people, but right on brand for Microsoft. Anyway, that's enough of the news for today.